hypocrisy.
Greatness can come from anywhere.
I draw inspiration from the Filipino people and to God and my family. Hard work is the most difficult things in boxing.
Let's get into it.
I truly believe that Spence need to take a break, relax a little bit, enjoy the family, figure out what he will do with his career. Because as far as skill sets, Errol got some things he needs to pick up before he faces Terrence Bud Crawford again, y'all. And especially at 154, Bud came into that fight. He was the stronger, more physical competitor. Everybody put their money on it. Literally, the Errol Spence was going to be the bigger and stronger guy. Terrence Crawford showed everybody that he was the stronger, more physical guy. I mean, this dude be wrestling people, y'all, MMA fighters. So it's like, I told y'all, when y'all was underestimating Bud's strength, man, going into that fight, y'all was going to be salty. And guess what? Y'all was salty. A lot of people lost a lot of money on that fight, man, betting on Errol Spence, because they was going with the status quo, jab, the body work, broke a couple of orbital bones. He's generally the bigger and stronger guy. Everybody bought into the narratives, put their money on Spence. They lost, but that's boxing, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how it goes. But 154, CHARLO, pound for pound, undisputed champion at 154. Possibly Tim Tszyu is going to be the WBO world champion at 154 because he's going to be elevated after the fight with Canelo Alvarez. This is Tim Tszyu. After the Canelo and Charlo fight, he will be elevated by the WBO. Allegedly, that's what has been said. Now, if that is 100% ironclad, then Charlo, he ain't gonna be undisputed at 154. He'll be unified, but he won't be undisputed. Now, he'll be the unified champion. Tim Tszyu will be the WBO champion. Now, Bud moves up to 154. Spence moves up to 154. They rematch at 154. Hypothetically, Terrence Bud Crawford beats Errol Spence yet again at 154. He stays at 154 because of whatever weight that Bud goes into that fight at 154, whatever his fight night weight is. If Bud can maintain that weight anywhere from 5 pounds or so, you know what I mean? Like Terrence Bud Crawford, if he puts that fight together with CHARLO, is going to go into that fight with CHARLO and he's going to stop him. I'm telling y'all, he will stop him. Yes, Bud is getting older, but being as though he came up from a lighter weight class, his body, it seems to be adjusting pretty well as it moves up through the weight class. He still has his power, he still has his speed, he still has his mobility. So it's not like CHARLO is fighting like somebody like who's older on their way out. Like they the same age, you know what I'm saying, damn near. So it's like CHARLO and Canelo fight, man, is real interesting. He's jumping up shit, you know what I'm saying, damn near 2 weight classes. So you don't want to go into that fight like you a regular 168 pounder, no, because you're going to be too heavy, too lethargic. You don't know how your punch power is. You don't know how your punch resistance is at that weight. So CHARLO is going to have to be, he's going to have to be real smart. And what if Anthony Joshua lose? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like Derrick James, man, like that was a Errol Spence loss that was a bad loss. That's probably their worst loss as a team. Definitely it's Errol's first loss, but for Derrick James as a coach, that may be the biggest loss that one of his fighters has suffered while he was their coach. But Jamel got a shot, man. He's going to have to see how he acclimates moving up a weight like that, what the game plan is going to be. If he comes in a little bit lighter, I think he'll have a decent edge if he can maintain his mobility, his athleticism, his speed. Derrick James' style of fighting, like if you look at the way these guys fight, like he teaches them how to sit on their punches. Those guys, even though they can hurt people and they have hurt people, they're not like that Gervonta Davis, Manny Pacquiao. They got like that explosive, shocking kind of power. It's like that thudding kind of power, stopping kind of power, weigh you down kind of power. So even CHARLO, he has a different kind of power. But facing Canelo Alvarez, like I said, that wear you down kind of power can be the power that is needed in order to beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, his upper body movement, I mean, it kind of slowed down. So CHARLO, I mean, he has a decent shot. I mean, for everybody's going to have to see how his weight looks going into that fight, period. Because Canelo, I mean, anybody can be caught. He done been caught. He done been hurt. You know what I mean? So he got a couple of losses on that. He not got losses per se, but he can lose. And CHARLO can go into that fight if he has the right game plan. His skill set is young enough and effective enough to go into that fight with Canelo Alvarez and disrupt some of the things that Canelo Alvarez does. Use his range, his jab, just like Bivol did. So that'll be a great fight. You know, Derrick James, they're going to be studying that Bivol fight. So CHARLO, that jab will be in full effect when he fights Canelo Alvarez. Better believe that. Terrence Bud Crawford at 154. I mean, Bud is going to be crazy strong, man. He's going to be crazy, crazy strong. He was already stronger than Spence in that fight. So him moving up, I really don't see a different result. I think he's going to be even stronger in that fight. And Errol, yes, he may be stronger, so he may put up more resistance. So he says, but he said that when they came into that fight at 147. So it's like, you hope for the best, but at the same time, looking at the result of the first fight, I don't care which way you cut it, you always got to give Terrence Crawford that benefit of the doubt because he looked that impressive in that fight. But you still can't knock Errol. Errol's still a phenomenal competitor, an elite athlete, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters and welterweights of all time. So it's like, I ain't knocking Errol at all. But when it just comes to, as they say, styles meet fights, when you're talking about past fights, current fights, or potential fights, and being as though him and Bud fought already, and what Crawford did to Errol Spence in that first fight, I mean, you always naturally have to put Crawford ahead of Spence when you're talking about them fighting, period. So that second fight is going to be very important, man. Can he even it up 1-1, make it a trilogy? I said it a long time ago, man, like these two guys, this is an easy trilogy. If Errol comes back, he got the weight under control, more importantly, he got his mind right. And if he's able to go to the gym and work on some things and do some different things in this fight, when he faces Crawford the second time, then he can make it an interesting fight. And we just may get a trilogy. But I think it's going to get ugly for Spence at 154 with Crawford, man. I think he's going to be bigger, stronger, leaner, more physical. So, hate to say it, man, but he can get, Bud can do him worse than he did in the first fight. And that's crazy, because he beat the hell out of Errol in the first fight. Just imagine him beating Errol Spence something worse in the second fight than he did in the first. Thinking about it, that's a damn crime scene. Talk Nature, stand up as your boy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You already know how I play. Share the true peas. I'm out.
Fatality.